Hello, Chris. Thank you so much for
Hi,
doing
how are
this.
you?
Let's
It's a
start.
pleasure, always.
Let me start asking you where you were born and where you live right now, and maybe some story that connects those two places.
Those two places, yes. I was born in Rio, Brazil, and I lived there most part of my life in Brazil. But I had a time and experience in Brasilia when I was a child. It was around 2 years and a half because of my uh, parents' jobs. And when I was in my 20s, in the beginning of my 20s, I studied in Brussels, Belgium, and I stayed there for 1 year and a half, and it was a good experience. Beside that, always in Rio. And from 10 years till now, I've been divided myself in Rio and Teresópolis in the mountains here in the Rio de Janeiro state. It's a good place for contemplation because of weather, huge mountains, a lot of nature around me, and there were some factors that uh, lead me to stay there more because I was invited to teach philosophy there, and because of that, I pass a long time there. Preparing the classes, connecting people, and constructing, building the philosophy course for teenagers. It was special for me, and I had a good experience then in that time, and I stayed there forever. My link with the city, no, my relation with the city is really deep because of my grandparents. They were from there. This house were their house, and I have this house for me now, and it's a sanctuary for me. So when I'm there, I'm always happy. I'm always in a special mood. It's it's good for energetic state and everything. So I love Teresópolis too, and in Rio it's the same. My family's here, and I studied in PUC Rio. My graduation was there. I studied architecture too, more than philosophy. Architecture. It was here in Rio too. So Rio and Teresópolis is my place nowadays. Are my place nowadays. Sorry.
I love it. I love this question because it allows people, to talk about the places that
Uh-huh.
they they liked, and this always tell us about it's a way of talking about yourself without
That's true.
directly talking about it, and people who eventually will see us, they will see the big smile that talking about Teresópolis brings to your face,
Oh,
when
for
you
sure.
talk
I love
about
Teresópolis.
it.
Yes. My roots are there in a way.
So you just said that you studied architecture and you studied philosophy, and I
Yeah,
know that you have this special place for aesthetics in your heart,
that's
and
true.
this is clear when the topics that you chose to study, they clearly connect with this the tools that the things that you studied gave to you. How do you see the world today? Do you think it's a good place to it, like the world is getting better, the world is getting worse? How do you
Oh,
see
I
the
had
world that we are living in today?
Yeah, that's a problem for me to say. The world is getting better. The world is getting worse. It's simplifying the issue. It's an issue. Talking about world is really complex because we are not uh, capable of seeing everything. We are only in a point of view. So, in my point of view of this phenomenon world, it's it's a movement. A, we are as a world. The world is trying to evolve itself. It's a process of evolution. It's always in movement, and we have these huge, big waves through history. through time. I think in this moment we are in a low moment of one of these big waves uh, through the history of the world, and why it's happening. I understand this bad movement is happening. It's dynamic. It's happening all the time. It happened in the past. It will happen again in the future. This movements, these high and lows. I'm certain of that. I'm sure. But this low moment now, I think it's because of the utilitarists and technicists structures of will, of being in the world. We have positivism in the 19th century, and we have the utilitarism, American utilitarism, and these two ideas putting together uh, brought this wrong idea of everything must be used by something. Everyone and everybody and everything must have a place to be used, to use in the system, and it brings us a wrong sense of reality, um, linking to this utilitarianism. Everything is an object, is a tool. Come on, it's not. And other word, other concept that is always mixed with these two systems of viewing the world, utilitarianism and technicism, and positivism, is the idea of scarcity. So there is a scarcity. Am I right in my English? Scarcity, when
Yes.
you the lack of things. There is
Yes.
nothing. There is not enough for everybody. The scarcity idea, and this is terrible. Make people sick. The world is not well because of that. Because the illusion of scarcity, and this illusion was put in the scenery because of these structures of viewing the world as a utilitarianism system. Everything is a machine. Everybody has a place in this machine to make it function, to make it work. And in my view, we should try to break this these systems, this point of view. So let's try other perspectives. It would help a lot. And in my opinion, philosophy and art together, putting together, how can you say it's a soul? Né? In Portuguese, we say costurar. In Portuguese, we say to think is pensar. Pensar is making as pences da costura. I don't know how to say it in English, but it's a soul, and you are going to put the points together and making the
Yeah.
scenery, the best set of the things. And with philosophy, in philosophy, we have five uh, ways of treat the objects, the beings, the possibilities of understanding. So we have ontology, we have epistemology, we have ethics, the fundamental, and we have statics. All these 4 points are always sustained by logic, of course. If you don't have logic, we will not be able to process ideas and concepts and put them together. But when we have this point of views inside philosophy, we putting them together, working together with this clinical eye, we can understand the world in a holistic, more holistic way, and we can free ourselves from this perspective of utilitarianism and technicism. Uh, it's I don't want to say that scientific perspectives, the technical scientific perspectives, are not good. I'm not. I'm not telling that for sure, but only that reduces the reality. And we, holistically speaking, we are more than this, more than probabilities, more than causalities, relations. We are much more. And with art and with aesthetics, the point of view inside philosophy that is always treating things with mathematical logic, of course, but together it's putting the sensitive thoughts, in Portuguese, I would say pensamento sensível. The sensitive thoughts are really important to open your mind. If we are only technical and logical, we are going to be, I don't know, like machines, like robots. We
Yeah.
are not robots. We have feelings, we have intuition. The possibility of effective contemplation is not from logic, mathematical logic. Of course not. It's from another place. And we have this, and we embrace the world with this sensitivity. And using the tools of logic, we can make huge, big things, important, beautiful things. Um, in Greece, we used to mix the worlds. The concepts were really closed and almost the same. To be good and to be beautiful was almost the same. In that time, we can see that the sensitive thoughts were more close to logical mathematical systems, and good and beautiful was really dancing together. And nowadays, because of this technicism and these utilitarisms, people were losing their capacity of contemplation, of sensitive thoughts. Um, and because we are losing this side of aesthetics structures that we have inside us since the beginning of our of our being, um, we are disconnected by in a way, so we start to suffer. We start not to include, it's important, we have a lot of ethic issues, and I'm convinced it's because of we are losing our aesthetics views, our aesthetics sense, our aesthetics uh, clinical view of the world. It's always connected. When you are more sensitive, uh, you will understand better the possibility of the action inside the collectivity. And because we are not sensitive enough, we are losing our am I right, collective
Yes.
identity. We are two individuals, we are two alone, and it's because of technicism and utilitarism and what is my where is my part in the system, in the engine, in the machine. And everything is a machine working to a purpose specifically. In my opinion, the two big goals of human being is love and contemplation. And nowadays, when you ask somebody who is he, who is she or he will answer the work, my job, and what I'm doing, and the my contribution to the PEEP. Am I right, PEEP? Um, if I'm not
It's
producing,
GDP.
that's it.
GDP.
Okay, yeah. So if we are not producing something and contributing for the economics models, we are not necessary anymore. And we are not in the
Okay.
area of necessity. That's it. So aesthetics would help us a lot in this kind of situation. And in my opinion, these problems of the world, the low wave, it's because we are not paying attention enough. We are not giving enough time to the aesthetics part of us.
Okay. You said so many important things. I want to go back to some of them.
Uh-huh.
Okay. First,
Okay.
the illusion of scarcity. And
Yeah.
I will try to make a connection between the other things to try to turn this into a question. Usually, my
Okay.
next question would be, what are the challenges that you see ahead to keep the world a better place? But I think that in your answer, you already
I mixed.
mentioned several of these
Yeah.
aspects. I'll try to identify them, and you can agree with me or not. But I would
Okay.
say that we somehow lost the connection with the sense of aesthetics, and because of that we are suffering, and and that would be the challenge then for the future, to stop suffering, to reconnect ourselves with this sense of
Sensitive
aesthetics. And
thoughts,
you said,
sense of
uh,
aesthetics for sure.
yes, that you said, look, if you manage to reconnect this, you're going to start worrying more about the collectiveness. You see that uh, um, we will be able to fully accomplish our real goals, which is love and contemplation, and not what we do as a job. And 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 yes, these are the challenges. Okay. um so my first question would be why we
Hmm.
lost this connection. And the second question that you can try to put together also is, uh, um, how does this connect with scarcity? Like, our if this has a connection with scarcity, what is coming to my mind is, okay, but some things are really scarce, and in my mind, in my opinion, time is scarce, and I can argue with you that it really
Hmm.
is. And because time is scarce, it's the ultimate scarce. You see, my English is stuck sometimes too, because time is ultimately the ultimate scarce commodity.
Hmm.
All we measure value of things against the time that they consume, that they take from us, that they take to be ready. And um, yes, and then all sorts of ideas come out of my mind because of that.
Uh-huh.
Like, uh, that we actually spend a lot of time so we can kind of buy more time. Like, so we spend a lot of time to get money so you can have a vacation, so you can contemplate. Like, and in the end you could just sit and contemplate without having to go through all these
All
complex
these difficult times,
yes,
trying to
like,
have
it's
more time.
so
Yeah.
it's so funny how and then it comes, okay, but it's about, can you control when you're, so I'm trying to think here exactly this. So why, how this what you call, if there is a role of this illusion of scarcity, and
Mhm.
if you can see that, but that actually there are scarce things, that if they had a role in this loss of connection with aesthetics. And yeah, let's keep this first question,
Yeah.
this question
It's
first.
You are a really sensitive man because when you're talking about time, you are touching the central point of aesthetics. People used to think that aesthetics is dealing with the idea and the concept of beauty. Yes, but beauty around and through time. The central point of aesthetics was always time and what it is. Uh, it's not in the epistemological structures that we are going to find an answer time, but it's in the statics structures of thoughts. It's where the big philosophers were dealing with this big, big problem. Um, Time is a problem for human being because we have this inside us. Kant told it very well. Uh, Time is not a thing from the world, is a thing from the human. Human borrow time to understand world. We take this time, this structure that is inside us. We are time animals, and we put it in the world to understand the world in this structure of uh, time and this fluence, the fluid of time. And I used to say that time is the correlative with our consciousness. Even if we get out of the planet and get out of the sun system, uh, and there is no movement at all because this physical time is always measuring by the movement of the the planets in relation with its star, in our case sun. If we get out of this, we have no movement at all, so no relation between a space and a star to measure time. Even then we have time because we have before, now, and after. It's the conscience. The thoughts are in a line, in a timeline. So time is ours. It's our problem. It's not a world problem. And because of that, and because of our new views of the world, and because we are a little far from our aesthetics structures that are there, we are just forgetting them because of the new structures. Post-industrial societies were uh, were moving in the, almost, I would say, in the project to lose this because it was more profitable. And because of that, we start to have problems with our time, because even just because we lose our aesthetics structures. Because in aesthetic, when you feel things, and you can feel through your concepts and your ideas, and each idea, new idea you have, you can, how can I say, stay long there. um, how can I say, debruçar, leaning over,
Mhm.
leaning over the idea, leaning over the phenomenon. uh, Stay there for a while to understand everything around. And it's always taking time, the time of the consciousness, the time of this process of thinking, before, now, and after. I was thinking that. Now I have this new ideas, and I have this project, this goal of future. After, I will think, I will conclude. And these conclusions, the probabilities of causalities, it's always implying time in this sequence of logical thoughts that will lead you to a conclusion. And because we are far away from our aesthetics each systems, our aesthetics tools, I'm putting tools like that, we are having this frenzy with time. Oh my god, I'm losing time, I'm losing time. I never have time enough, because I lose my feelings. So I can't feel properly. I'm in the structure of the engine, of the machine. Our time is not the time of the machines. Computers and these systems are too fast for consciousness. Human consciousness has a specific time. When we, how can I say, emprestar, land? When, when we
Yes.
lend our time structure to the objects we are dealing with, we lose. Of course, because they are too fast for us. And in our subjective of time, because it's always subjective, it's an illusion thinking that you can objectivate the time. It's never like that. Uh, you you lose because the idea, the processing. of a machine is really, really faster than us. And the cars and the airplanes and everything. That's why I used to play the idea that I'm from 19th century. I'm here by uh, a mistake. Because I really don't deal in a good way with this velocity that we are imposed to ourselves. We create the problem, like the market. I used to say, because market, and we are always submitted to the market. Come on, we invented the market, and now they became a monster over us. And we have a lot of poverty and hunger and this uh, abyssal inequality. Am I right? I'm trying to
Yes.
find a word here, and well, and it's, in my opinion, it's always because of this losing of feelings. We must feel more. Jean-Jacques Rousseau had a he was an illuminist. He was there doing the structures, giving the structures to the French Revolution, and we are all sons of this. And Jean-Jacques Rousseau told us reason is always leaning over what heart get in love with. You must be in love with things to effectively learn things, to effectively uh, put all your energy in this process, consciousness process of before, now, and after, in these links of ideas to conclude and to learn effectively things in the world and the others in this. It's incredible when the object of your studies is not a chair or table or a car, but another human being. And all this is around the idea of feelings. And people used to, how can minimize, oh, feelings, you are losing your time. You must be logical, and an idea, an way, and an answer. It's not like that, and they were wrong. And because of this mistake back there in the process of time consciousness, we are having this dysfunction now, this dysfunction now, with all this holistic structure of time, life, feelings, understanding, and relate effectively relation to the others, because we are forgetting the sensitivities incrusted in all the systems, incrusted in all science, incrusted in all economical model. We lose something in this way, and art may help us to reconnect. That's why I was
Yeah,
studying philosophy.
that was my next question. Like, can we
Yeah,
fix this?
yeah.
Can
I,
we?
I I feel more than I think. I feel we can, and this way is from art, and art in a big, huge idea. Okay, literature, plastic painting, and gardening. Gardening is a kind of art. You know, in this way, in this area. Schopenhauer is a clever man. He used to say that we are always in conflict. He was influenced by a lot of other philosophers behind him: Hegel, Kant, Friedrich Nietzsche. A lot of them, they were all big. And Schopenhauer, because of this influences, were able to say that it was incredible. He was saying we are always in conflict, and there is no science, there is no religion, there is no economic system, there is no politics to help us. There is only one area of acting as a human being where the ills are not fighting. Ills, vontades, ills, am I
Hmm.
right? Ills are not
Wills,
fighting.
maybe.
Wills, yeah, wills, thank you. So wills are always fighting, and when I'm putting my eye over world, I'm always trying to make the world be me, Christiane wants the world being Christiane's world, and Maurus wants the world being Mauro's words. These wheels are always in a fight, but there is a place where this fight is not necessary. There is it doesn't happen by nature, and it's art. There, all the wheels can be together. Doesn't matter. I will do my art and you do yours, and everything is okay. Everything is well received. In this area, we have this, how can I say, rest. We rest from this constantly conflict, and it's a place where you can find the time to make your consciousness and its rhythm more comfortable and able to effectively understand the world. And we are epistemological beings. We need to understand. So, uh, when we are in art, we have this lack of pressure. We have this moment, this precious moment of contemplation, and then we can organize ourselves to this big goal of us of understanding, of getting the meaning of things and being comfortable because we are getting meanings, we are getting understandment about the world, about
Yeah.
ourselves, about the others. It's so important talking about the others as part of ourselves in this collectivity. We are a collectivity. And in this shopping hour, this has this figure. When we are, everybody is inside a concert room listening to Mozart, and everybody is effectively listen to that. There is no conflict at all, and everybody is in contemplation and getting out of time to have the experience of the real sublime. Oh, and that's what we're looking for. Yeah, we look for sublime. That's why we contemplate. When you are running with your bicycle, racing with your bicycle in an area, and you know there is a beach over there, and you go there very fast because you want to see, and then you arrive there, and there is this white sand, blue ocean, a lot of palm trees, the wind, the seagulls, and you, beautiful. That is sublime. It's sublimation. I don't know if we can say that in English. I hope English people can understand that. Sublimation, because, you know, this interview in Portuguese would be much more. Because English is I have limits in my vocabulary. In Portuguese, not
Yes.
at all. So, would
But look,
be
that I think we are touching like very, very important points here. This connection in between time and beauty, that
Mhm.
it was not clear, that clear in my mind before, and you made like a perfect
Oh, I'm so
point
happy.
of the connection,
Uh-huh.
and of the
It
two
is.
things, which
It's
is,
a deep
and
connection.
it's making me think that, um, well, two things. First, that it was, um, so like we are all born with an amount of time, right? So, and that
With the
it doesn't
sense of
matter
time.
if you are, doesn't matter your origin, or where you were
Not at
born.
all.
We all are born, even it doesn't even matter how intelligent you are or how rich, whatever, it doesn't matter. We are all more or less born with the same amount of time,
The
and no
sense of
one can
time.
buy more.
Conscience needs time to flow,
Mhm.
to process things.
So we have to find a way of convincing people to actually kind of give us more time. When you do something for me, I'm actually getting, like getting some extra time for myself. So in a way, maybe the market, maybe we got into this vicious cycle because everyone were trying to or at least some people were trying to get more time for themselves, and a way of seducing people into
Oh, great.
giving them their time is to make them believe that they need more than they actually do, right?
Voluntary
And
work. I have three voluntary works, and in these works, in these moments, it's um, my happiest moment in the week. I read stories for in a small babies school. They are around 4 and 6 years old, and they are poor, and I'm there voluntarily reading stories for them, and I have time to do theater and plastic activities with the syndrome of Down syndrome. I don't know how to say
mhm.
that in English. I hope it's the same.
Yeah, Down
And the
syndrome.
Down syndrome, I've learned so much with them because they have aesthetics untouched, because they don't have too much logical, mathematical logical. The aesthetics is there, complete. So they have their times, and they have the capability to contemplate everything. They are so well. They are so. If the world were plain of down downs, we
Hmm.
would be much more happier than we are. It's incredible how they, because they have aesthetics untouched, and I've learned that dealing with them, how complete they are. Uh, in spite of not having this whole system, logical mathematical system, well done, they have aesthetics. All the aesthetics are there, untouched. How can I say, immaculated, because
Hmm.
we maculate our aesthetics sides, and they didn't. So they are okay. They are really human beings, much more than us. We become more automatums. I don't know how to say that. We are in the automatic system, and they know they are in the humanity system very, very much because of the aesthetics. And I gave my time to them, and every week, that time, it's really a, a good time, because when you give time, you understand that you have a lot of time that you didn't understand you have. Am I right? You
Yeah.
didn't understand you have. Yeah. So um, uh, in a way, of do, practicing more artistic activities, and in the other way, doing more voluntary practices will help us a lot in understand how uh, abundant we are. The world is full of abundance. Abundance flew through us. Abundance
Yeah.
flew
Abundance.
flows through us a lot, but we are always forgetting that, because the systems we are uh, deep inside. Be- After French Revolution and Illuminism, we start to make a lot of mistakes. Romantics try to help us. They cry that they they were loud, uh, calling our attention for these problems. Be careful. Rousseau were trying to help us in this way. Others too, Hegel, when they are talking about dialectics, and they say the world has a dialectical structure. It in three times. So we have thesis and antithesis and synthesis. And the thesis, think about a tree, and you have the how can I say semente, seeds, the seeds of the tree.
Seeds.
Seed is just a seed, and it is a seed, and there is this complexion of seeds. But to become a tree, it must be destroyed. So the nature of it has inside it the no seeds. This no seed structure will function to destroy the thesis, and the thesis were the seed, And then the antithesis starts its process to then bring us the synthesis of the jacarandá. It is a process. It is a static process full of time, and it's always asking for and expecting evolution. Evolution is always to become better and trying to become better. We are always in this process, in a dialectic process, trying to become better, and it's because we are part of nature. Another thing we forgot, and Illuminism, Illuminism, may I say that Illuminism had his part in this forgetting uh, idea. We are part of nature, and we pose in the same dialectical system. We were theses. We passed through antitheses of ourselves, and we became synthesis of ourselves. So you were a baby. The baby were destroyed, and you became a child. The child were destroyed to make the man, and we are going through this forever. Another point very important that aesthetics bring to us, there is no finitude at all. It's an illusion. When we die, it's just one of the antithesis process to become another thing much better, because it's evolution. It's always to become better. It's always the sense of improve ourselves. All nature, all the world, all it's we are all of us, we are all doing this. So there is no death at all to become sad about, because it's not the end of anything. It's just one part of the process, and this process is the time is always happening through this huge idea of time. And this huge idea of time, when you understand there is no lack of time at all, then you understand we are part of eternity. We were never limited in a specific part of time. Now, here, we are having this moment. We are always passing through moments in a dialectic system, all very dynamic, always in movement to become better than we are. So, death is very important, and it's a good way to become better, for sure, because everything is in the system. When Hegel told us that, he was freeing us from this fear of finitude and this fear of having no more time because my time is from here to there. It's an illusion. Everything is an illusion when you think about this material systems reduced to mathematical logic. Yep. I hope
Chris,
you understand.
this was this was great, and I think that this way of breaking with the idea of finitude and become part of eternity is a beautiful way to finish uh, uh,
Yeah.
um, our conversation. A very positive way.
Yeah, we
I
don't
would
have to
even say that,
think about time at all.
as a
Uh-huh.
scientist and as someone who has trained all these sides that may have contributed to definitely contributed to a better quality of life in material terms, but uh, at the cost maybe of all these aesthetics side. But I am completely sure that it doesn't have to be like this. And
Not at
throughout our
all.
conversation, and like having read the things that I read, I and even in my personal professional experience, I know how important for a scientist is to have a very acute and accurate sense of aesthetics, because in the end, what differentiates a good scientist from a regular, like what makes a scientist special. It's not their technical skills, because it's very easy to normalize
Mhm.
in a world where you have free access to information. It's very easy to normalize technical skills and competence. So
Mhm.
it's your sense of aesthetics to choose which problems to tackle, to prioritize what is important and what is not, that is going to make you either a better scientist, but also a better engineer, a better father, a better human being in the end. So thank you so much for
Oh, you're
sharing,
welcome.
this idea with us. Before I let you go, I ask everyone the same three questions. The first one is, which book you are reading right now?
Well, I'm not with only one. I'm reading two. One is
Okay.
very good. It's the Man Who Knows. The Man Who Knows from Viviane Mosé. It's a Brazilian philosopher. I had the here. It's a very good book. I'm not getting anything with this. It's because I like the book. Okay, I even
Okay. Okay.
that's it. Very good book. Viviane Mosé. It's a Brazilian philosopher and very important, very clever, and the communication with her is always good, easy. And the other one I had already read when I was university 20 years ago, and I decided to read again because of our moment in Brazil, and is the from Sérgio Buarque de Holanda, uh, Raízes do Brasil, Brazil's
Uh-huh.
roots, and I'm leaning over the idea of the cordial man. I have to re-signify the cordial man inside me and this Brazilian cordial man. I have to make peace with it because I'm angry with the cordial man nowadays. So I decided to read the book again. So it's here,
That's
Sérgio Buarque de
amazing.
Holanda.
Yes.
Oh, and here is Tarsila do Amaral, an artist. Art is
Of
always
course.
involved. Yeah, art is always involved.
Yes.
When you have art involved, we have much more comprehension, communication. Art is
More
always a
complete.
good it's always more complete with art. I used to say that to my students. One day, a student, oh dear teacher, I was trying to. I'm thinking about doing engineering, but after your classes, I'm thinking maybe I should do philosophy. And I answer him, no, we are needing a lot engineers who study
Yes.
philosophy. So please be
Go
an
be an
engineer.
engineer and build
Yeah,
beautiful things.
yeah, but never lose your philosophy
Yes.
inside you, and then you do a lot of good things for us because we have a lot of engineers and philosophers are okay with their philosophy, but the engineering are needing philosophy a lot, and doctors either the same, and economists and psychologists and politics a lot. they uh, they are needing this too. Yeah.
Chris, the second question is, do you take short or long lunch breaks?
Oh, I love to eat. Uh, my 1 hour is a short or a long? I don't know. It depends. It's always
It's,
1 hour.
it's
I used to have
one
1 hour,
hour.
1 hour and a half to have my lunch
So
time.
okay, this question was, when I first thought about asking this, it was a way also of seeing, the difference, how people getting facts about how people behave, as a way of also letting the facts talking about themselves, right?
Uh huh.
And
Right.
it has become, maybe I can write a thesis about the answers, because like a lot of people that are worried that that we need more time, they don't stop to have lunch. They
Oh,
so like
I like
so the
I
connection
I
with
like to stop.
foods is, it's something that it's so important for us, but it, even for people that understands the importance of contemplation, this is passing like as a kind of just an
That's true.
obligation, like if I could
Yeah.
not stop to eat, I would not stop to eat. So like
No, I
but I still
stopped to
have
it.
to
one
process. I
one
still
hour, one
have
hour
to
and a half,
process these ideas.
and I prepare my lunch, and that's very important of the
Wow. Okay.
contemplation
That's
system. I prepare, I
yes.
look the food, I cut the vegetables, and I'm always
This is a
thankful.
good. This is a good. Maybe I will include this as a question. Do you prepare your food,
I
or because
prepare my
that
food,
should be
and I think
included
it's a
in
difference.
this should be included in the process of eating. Okay.
Of course, of course.
The last question is about it's Bitcoin.
Oh,
Are you a believer or a non-believer?
I will be honest with you. I don't understand very well. The little I know about Bitcoin, I think they are working in the beginning. They part from the idea of scarcity, and for me, it's an illusion. So every system who is always playing with scarcity in the human mind is not a good thing. So, uh, but it's it's an instinct. I really don't understand very well the Bitcoin. It's difficult. I tried to understand, and I had difficulty with this concept. But it was a Japanese who invented it. I don't know. They
Actually,
have,
it's a pseudonymous. So, like,
yeah.
yes, it's
I
a
don't know.
pseudonymous. The pseudonymous is a Japanese, but nobody knows who really
Nobody
invented it.
knows exactly. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I try instinctively. I don't think it's a good thing to play with. It will bring
Okay.
us more pain
You,
than happiness.
yeah, you like this conversation with you gave me something to think about scarcity. Okay,
Hmm.
and I will have to review some of my ideas at the light of things that you said. I agree that there is less scarcity in the world than we are told. So
Yes.
there's not all this scarcity. However, I do think that even though we can, it can bring some consolation.
Hi.
She's sleeping already. She's
Oh, it's
almost
okay. It's
sleeping.
okay.
I will have to. We will have to end the episode.
Okay.
So even though we can play with this idea that we are part of eternity, I do think that our consciousness has limited time, and that is something scarce,
The
and it's
problem,
inevitable not to value things according to it.
there are a lot of things we must share better. We are not sharing uh, properly our
Yes.
abundance. That's it.
Chris, thank you so much,
You're welcome always.
and
It
we
was a
will do it
pleasure.
again.
Okay. Bye.